Hi, and welcome back to It Figures. Tonight I have a kind of a strange review for you, so that's why I decided to pop on here and talk to you a little bit before I actually show you what I am reviewing. I was at Target a while back, and this is actually the second time I have to make this video because the first time I deleted it somewhere. So it's weird that I've already reviewed this product, so I know what it is and I know how well it works, but I wanted to get back on here and show it to you again because of how well it does work. And that's this here. These are NECA stands that I found at Target. I think, if I remember right, I think they were 10 bucks each, and there's 10 stands in here. Now, these can be very, very essential to your action figures, especially if NECA makes these action figures with loose hips or loose legs and they just fall off your shelf and break into 100 pieces after you just spent $30 on the action figure. One of the reasons why I picked this up was because of my It figure that I bought, and that thing was pretty expensive. It was 30 bucks, 30 or 40 bucks. It was a pretty expensive figure, and it's actually one of my favorite figures from NECA, and I never displayed it because I was afraid of it falling off and breaking, so that's one of the reasons why I picked this up. So then I kept thinking, well, I wonder if I can use this for other action figures. Does it work for non-NECA figures, and how well does it work for NECA figures? So here it is. Here's my review for the figure display stands, and you can get these on Amazon too if you can't find them in the store. And I got 2 packs of them actually, so I got 20 of them because I have plenty of figures that these can work for. So here it is. Here is the review for the figure display stand from NECA. There isn't much to the package, but doesn't really need to be. Just 2 stacks of the stands. That's all you need really. So when you open them up, there is a little piece of plastic on top that protects the little stud here, little peg that holds your action figures, and there's only one on here. I thought there might have been 2, but nope, there's only one, and that's fine. So as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite figures of NECA's that I have bought, and I actually reviewed him over on my other channel, Box Office Maniacs, before I started up this channel again. So he's just a ridiculously amazing detailed figure, and he does stand on his own. I mean, I'm not holding him right now, but if I hit a shelf or barely touch it, he might fall over and break into 100 pieces. And this was an expensive figure, and I'd rather not have that happen. I mean, obviously it's very simple. There's a peg. He has holes on the bottom of his feet. You just stick it in there, and he stands up. It does hold pretty well. As you can see, you can lift it up, and it does hold in place. And not only does it help him stand well, it looks good, I think. You can get these in clear and I believe black if you don't like the clear. And it just overall makes it a nice looking figure, and you don't really have to worry about him falling over and breaking. But he probably may fall over if you really hit it pretty hard. If you shake it a little bit, it does come off. I carried him over here from the shelf and it did fall off. But, if he's just standing on a shelf like this, it's fine and you wouldn't have any worries. And this is a big problem, at least for me and NECA figures, is these loose leg joints like Jason has here. And, you can see how wobbly he is. He actually did fall off my shelf, and he was holding, I think it was like a fence post or something, and it broke in half. And because, he just was too wobbly to stand on his own. I believe if I did have a stand, he wouldn't have fallen off of the shelf. So the real question here is, do these figures actually hold non-NECA figures? And the answer to that is no. I can't remember if this was a NECA figure or not. I don't think it was. I think this was a McFarlane figure, because the hole in the bottom of his boot is way too big for the stand, and it just goes right through it. And here is another example. This is Julia, and I believe she was a McFarlane figure. And if not, you can see her hand broke off because she fell off of the shelf. But if she wasn't a McFarlane figure, and she is a NECA figure, I can't remember because she came out such a long time ago. If this was an older NECA figure, which I don't think it was, no, she also does not stand on these pegs. Now, that doesn't mean that every single figure that has ever come out won't stand on them unless they're NECA, but it's a good possibility that NECA made the holes on the bottom of their figures just big enough so only those NECA figures will be working on them. Now, here's an old figure, one of the very first Maniacs, monster, I can't remember what they're called, that McFarlane released. Obviously it's Ghostface. And even though Ghostface has holes on the bottom of his feet, they will not fit on the stand, which is really disappointing to me because he does not stand up very well at all. I have a lot of NECA figures, and I mean a lot of them. And especially like Freddy here, if he fell off the shelf, he would probably explode into 15 different pieces because the chest piece is basically just snaps on there. And I can see his glove breaking off, his chest piece breaking off. So now, again, I don't really have to worry because of the stands. So my final thoughts here on these stands is if you're going to invest that much in these action figures, and they have gotten really expensive, like I said, $30 is pretty expensive to buy just an action figure, even though I think the clown is well worth it. Yeah, buy these stands. I would absolutely, $10 you get 10 stands, $20 you can get 20 stands. And I think they're even cheaper on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, these are well worth your money. Absolutely. I just wish I had bought them sooner. Alright, so there you go. There is my review for the NECA stands. I will be out buying more of these as I buy more NECA figures. I think I probably have more than 20, if I had to guess. I haven't really put them on, all of them yet. I'm planning on doing this very soon to get my shelf looking much nicer than what it is. Right now they're all laying down because I'm afraid of them falling off. And no longer. Here is the current situation of my figures on my shelf down here in the basement. As you see, it looks like Godzilla has come through and just completely devastated everybody except for Butterball here and the female Cenobite. They're doing okay. The rest of these guys have been just wiped out and they've been laying here like this just simply because either they have fallen over or they've fallen off the shelf and parts of them broke. So I'm about to place the NECA stands on the ones that are NECA figures and stand them all up. Now the shelf down here also has figures. Most of them stand on their own. There's Bub that I reviewed not too long ago. There's my RoboCop. Here is Pumpkinhead. I do have the clown here from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and he stands really good because he actually has a stand. Here is the Queen Alien, the original Queen Alien. So these are just some of the figures I have. It's Dalek. Turtle just hanging out down here, laying on his side. Got to fix him. It's a skull from Terminator. That's Legend back there. It's dark, you can't see it. And there's some Chucky figures. And for some reason I have Shepard there from Stargate Atlantis and the guy from Hellboy. I don't know where these even came from. They're just been here. So this shelf I'm going to clean up as well. Get the ones I don't want, put them somewhere, and keep the cool ones out. But right now I'm just going to show you how this is going to look afterwards. And here we go. Everything on their stand, nice and neat. Kind of makes a big difference, right? Don't have to worry about anything falling off, falling over, breaking anymore. And of course all of this is NECA stuff. Except for the few things down here. Sarah Connor is actually NECA as well, so the stand works well for her. And I just took off the stuff that didn't have stands or was just too bulky. And here are the two turtles that I owned from the original looking comic. I wish I would have gotten all four of them. It's only two I own. But yeah, I think it looks much nicer now. All of them standing up and not just a complete cluster of them lying everywhere. And love the stands. I highly recommend them. If you have a bunch of NECA figures you're afraid of being broken, because these things, like I said, are really expensive. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. There are plenty more It figures on the way.